Hello, everyone, and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Rogue Valley in Medford, Oregon. I'm Kimberly Hawkins, Spiritual Director here, and we're delighted you've decided to join us for our Sunday celebration. We're a progressive, inclusive spiritual community, and we definitely welcome each and every one of you, no matter where you may happen to be on your own personal spiritual journey. Our musicians this morning, as you just heard, are the wonderful Alexa Ehrlich and Lauren James. Our practitioner is Maggie Covarrubias, who will be doing our invocation and reading momentarily. And our guest speaker for the very last time is Reverend Michelle Arellano. And I say that for the very last time because it's the last time she'll be a guest speaker. Our board this past week approved Michelle as our new co-spiritual director to start March 1st, and I am so excited, Rev. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I am so honored to be a part of this amazing community of beautiful spiritual beings, and to be able to be with this beautiful minister here. We've already had so much fun in planning and working together and going down the lazy river that it's a dream come true, and I am incredibly grateful, and I am so excited about what's next for us as ministers and as Centers for Spiritual Living in Rogue Valley.
Yay! Oh, so welcome again. We're going to pass it along now back to our musicians, Lauren and Alexa.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I feel I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind and hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only
That was beautiful. There is only love. As we gather in this sacred moment as a loving community, I know, right here, right now, that we are all connected with the divine, that we are all loving presences created by the divine. So right here, right now, I know that all the beautiful words that are spoken today in the talk, that the luminous music, that the love that we share brings us all to the place of divine love. I know no matter where we stand right now, whether it's in a moment of doubt, a moment of love, a moment of joy, that we are all one. And though we can't hold hands right now, we hold each other's hearts and we embrace each other's souls. And so I know that this service, as it goes forward, blesses each and every one of us, everyone who sees this service and those who do not. There is only love. I am so grateful for this community. I am so blessed to be part of this service. And I send out love and light, knowing it returns to all of us. And so it is. I have been doing a lot of reading lately, which always makes me happy, kind of the word nerd. So I wanted to read a passage from Ladder to the Light, an Indigenous Elder's Meditations on Hope and Courage. Seemed like a good time for this. The author starts out by saying, "My ancestors believed in individuality, each person's right to be uniquely who they are, but never to be ostracized or isolated from their collective community. Diversity, therefore, was preserved in the heart of unity." And he goes on to say, "Love is a song. Love knows no color, no class or culture, no nationality or religion, but exists in all of the above. Love exists in the hearts of the weak and the strong, the mighty and the humble. It flows out into isolated villages and into the streets of great cities, among the young and old alike, taking expression in 1,000 ways: the touch, the look, the feel of an emotion deeper than those who have it, enduring, fragile, and perfect in blessing. Love is the inheritance of mystery that we leave to the universe, the proof that consciousness is more than chemicals and fire, but rather a song that sings the why and how of all creation. Love sings it now, and will sing it until the end of time." And so it is.
The world runs fast, the spirit slow, to where we think we need to go. When we move into passing gear, the song of love is hard to hear, till everything's so loud that we're alone with what we're missing. Somewhere beneath the sea of noise, we hear the angel's whispered voice. The song is there, the words are clear, and all we need is still right here. Listen. The harmony of wings in flight, the rising
Listen. Beautiful. Thank you, Alexa and Lauren and Maggie. Oh my gosh. You pray so beautifully, and that quote was just spot on. Like, I think I could go home now. I mean, that was kind of my message. So, and then the love song was kind of it too. I mean, I just love how the universe, God, brings all of these special pieces together on this special day. A big thank you to Rev Kimberly as well. I'm just so incredibly excited to be on this journey with you, and it's just all good. It's all God. So as you know, as you heard, I am a minister. I am newly co-spiritual director with Rev Kimberly Hopkins, and we are so incredibly excited to be on this journey together as we are painting a new canvas, as we are moving into a new day. And the talk title for today is to be the energy you wish to attract, or you want to attract. The global theme is living everyday wonder. The monthly theme is the inner life. And the topic that is similar to what this talk is about is cause and effect. And it's different ways of saying it and different ways of seeing it, but it's all the same thing. And I had a lot of fun putting this talk together, because when you look at something from different facets, it takes on deeper meanings within you, and thinking about the energy that we are and the energy that we attract. Cause and effect, what we're putting out into the universe comes back to us. And it really gets me to think about, for me, and I think for most of us, what is that energy that I am right now? What is that energy? What are the thoughts that I'm hanging out in? Because thoughts are energy. And what am I vibrating with? What is speaking to me? Am I living in more faith, or am I living in more fear? And those questions for me are check-in questions quite often to see where I'm at. I know that when I'm vibrating in more faith and love, that's what I'm seeing in life. You know, it's like when you get a new car, or when you're wanting to get a new car. I want a red Toyota truck. And all of a sudden, you see a million red Toyota trucks on the road. And it's such an incredible example of what we put our attention on and what we focus on. All of a sudden, we're seeing things that we didn't see before. And that moves into the quantum physics part of this. And so first I want to read a quote from Ernest Holmes, our founder. So much about the science of mind teaching is about quantum physics. And this was before there was any evidence around quantum physics. I get so geeked out on this because I think of Thomas Troward and the New Thought movement, which is ancient teachings. Knowing quantum physics to the degree of just our feelings that we're putting into the universe are the feelings that come back to us. And this is before there was any quantum physics, any evidence of this. It was downloads, it was God, it was universe, it was the energetic that was coming through him. And I remember taking Troward's class when I was in practitioner studies, and I got it. I got it at such a deeper level of when I am in a space of calling in, attracting into my life what is important to me. When I'm calling that into my life, it is more about the energy that I'm putting into it than the words that I'm putting into it. And that was a huge aha moment for me. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when I share an example for you. And then I thought about, in that Troward class, the quantum physics behind it and how much this teaching is that. The creative process, the absolute, the God, spirit that is everything, into the universal law, the mind, capital M mind, into the effect, the seed, soil, plant of what we're creating in our lives. And then you think about this quote from Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza. The quantum universe is just waiting for a conscious observer, you or me, to come along and influence energy in the form of potential matter by using the mind and consciousness, which are themselves energy, to make waves of energetic probabilities. I'm going to say that again because there's a lot in this. There's a lot in this. And Dr. Joe Dispenza, I mean, talk about somebody that has lived the truth and has gone through so many physical challenges and come out the other side and embracing the quantum physics, which is also the creative process of our thoughts are creating energy, and that creates our life. The quantum universe is just waiting for a conscious observer, you or me, to come along and influence energy in the form of potential matter by using the mind and consciousness, which are themselves energy, to make waves of energetic probabilities. That is just so good. That is so good. And now listen to this quote from our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes. It is a great mistake to say, take what you wish, for you can have anything you like. We do not take what we wish, but we do attract to ourselves that which is like our thought. Man, I'll add women, must become more if she wishes to draw a greater good into her life. It's the same thing. It's the same thing in different words. And we become that. We are that. We are that energetic that creates and makes waves of that energetic probabilities. And so I think that there's different words and there's different ways of looking at things that attract people. Some people, especially in our teaching, hearing our founder Ernest Holmes and reading the Science of Mind textbooks is so incredibly powerful and so empowering and creating the life that works for us and creating a world that works for everyone. And then there's some that really geek out in the science of it, in the quantum physics of it. And Dr. Joe Dispenza has become so incredibly popular right now. And really the same teaching of the wholeness within ourselves creates the wholeness in our life. I wanted to share a story with you about me when I first came into this teaching. And as we're creating this, I think of, manifesting things in my life and embodying things that come into my life. So as I first moved into this teaching, the law of attraction, cause and effect, I played with it. I was wowed by it. I believed in it. I knew about it before I even came into this teaching. And then I realized that there was a teaching that was teaching this, which was so incredibly powerful. And so when I came in, I took all the classes. I was like the new eager student and very much about learning it and manifesting parking spaces. I call it princess parking, and noticing so much more than I ever noticed before. And then I started taking some of the bigger things in my life, like my position, and really being able to create the abundance, getting a higher salary so I can, as a single mom at the time, create a foundation for me and my boys. And started looking at the things that I wanted to bring into my life. And as I was able to raise my energy, raise my consciousness, and believe. I remember back then, this was, 20 years ago, I was in banking and I was like a assistant manager, and I thought $60,000 would be so much. That would be the perfect salary. If I could get there, that would really take care of a lot of my problems. And so I was like visualizing it and picturing it and energizing with it and playing with it. And what I found out is it works. I got to that salary. And I also wanted to be manager. So I wanted to move from assistant manager, and I wanted to be either customer service manager or branch manager. And I wanted to get to a place that I could really have an influence on my workplace and also have ease of abundance in my life. And over a couple years, I was able to accomplish both of those. And what's so beautiful about this process is as I vibrate with it and I put this intention into the law, and then I release it and I let the universe bring it back, it far exceeds anything I would have thought. If I want to be in there and controlling all the bits and pieces and moving and this needs to happen to make this happen, that doesn't usually work too well for me. And so with this position in banking is I literally went on a job interview that was like an assistant position. It wasn't really a promotion for me. I wasn't that into it because I'm thinking I need to be branch manager. And then I thought, you know what? Just trust. So I went and got a new suit. I went on the interview. I did the best, I just expressed my experience, my passion. And I ended up getting a job offer that was that customer service manager. It wasn't the assistant manager. They saw my skill set, and the customer service manager at the time was promoted to the director of operations for the bank. It was a small bank. Far exceeded any of my expectation. The universe is phenomenal in that way. And it was just such an incredible affirmation. One of the things that I found out as I was on this journey was that was good, and it helped me provide for me and my boys. But there was still something missing, and there was a calling in my heart. And I, at times when it came to bringing these things into my life, and I think a lot of us watched the movie The Secret, and it was a lot about bringing things in. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think getting stuck in that phase doesn't always serve our soul's purpose. It's more about our soul's purpose. And that's what I found. And thank God I stayed in this teaching long enough for it to evolve inside of me. And so when I'm in this manifesting stage, I'm also still thinking that I have to kind of assist spirit if spirit's not moving quick enough, and control things if they're not happening the way that I want them to happen. And then when I'm getting these things, I'm finding them that's good. I appreciate that, but there's more. There's more. That's not quite it all the way. And then really moving to a place as I have embraced my spiritual practices and gone through practitioner and ministerial and really allowed myself to evolve in my spirituality, that it's more about my soul's purpose, and that it's more about my heart, and it's less about control. It's a lot less about control. It's more about surrender. It's holding the energy, holding the vibration, and allowing that to come into my life, and moving from fear to faith, being in that space of faith that allows it all to be good. And even when it's not good, and even when it's crunchy and rocky and bumpy, is knowing that there is something there. There's a lesson, there's a teacher, there's a treasure. Sometimes I got to dig deep for that treasure. We had that conversation this morning with an amazing crew here. There's always something there for me. And if things are really hard, I can't always see that something right away, but I eventually see it. I have faith that it will show me there is something there for me. So one of the quotes that I love, it's one of my all-time, I have so many favorite quotes, but this is one of my all-time favorite quotes, is from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. That is such a powerful word. Like I literally can feel the energetic of that word. I bet you can too. Like it literally conspires to make it happen. And I am so incredibly grateful for that. The burdens that I used to carry on my shoulders, that I had to carry everything. I had to make all of this happen. I had to save this friend from not drinking too much. I had to make this job happen. I had, like, really, really allowing the universe to come in. And that has made all the difference in my life. That has made all the difference. I remember at the conference that Rev Kimberly and I were at, I really was passionate about a few items that I wanted to talk to leadership about. And the conference was phenomenal. It was very open at the top. And I didn't want to try to force those things to happen. I wanted them to happen naturally if they were meant to happen. And so we were very good about our spiritual practices at the conference and doing our meditations in the morning. And I go into silence and I get a word for the day. And my word for the day in my meditation was shine. And that day I had put the intention, if it was meant for me to talk to these leaders, that they literally would be in front of me. It would happen for me naturally. Like, I wouldn't have to go out to make this happen. And I let it go. And I thought, if it's meant, it's going to come. And literally it came. And we're at the reception, the doctrine reception, and our spiritual leader was one that I really wanted to speak with, Dr. Edward Vision, and I just think the world of him. And so I think I'm standing next to Kimberly, Rev Kimberly, and we're having a conversation. I feel something rub across my back, literally rub across my back. And so I turn around jokingly and I said, "Are you rubbing my back?" Guess who it was? It was Dr. Edward. Oh my gosh. I was like, Spirit is so, so good. And I just thanked him for his amazing talk at the conference, which kicked it off. How open-hearted and how visionary and how inclusive, and how I want to be more a part of that. And I just was wowed by it. And we had this beautiful connection and this beautiful conversation, and it was all Spirit-led. And then that night, we had dinner, and Dr. Linda Rapon and Rev Kimberly and I, and we're sitting down, we go off property, and it's such an amazing time to connect with our colleagues, and for me to meet new people, because I'm newer to all of this. And another person that I wanted to connect with was Reverend Barbara Bew from headquarters. And she oversees all of the ministers for CSL and is just an amazing light and being, amazing being. And I know that Rev Kimberly has a great relationship with her. Well, literally at dinner, I'm sitting there and she's late. And Linda, I think Linda or Dr. Linda or Rev Kimberly had told me she was coming. And she ended up coming and sits directly across from me at dinner. Like, I can't make this stuff up. Like, this is God stuff. And this is, to me, like, it might not sound like that big of a deal to you, but to me it was a really big deal, because it was my heart wanted to express. My heart wanted to share with these leaders in our movement how inspired I was and how passionate I was. And Spirit, God, Mother, Father, God, like, brought this in to my life on my shine day, right? My day that my soul told me to shine. And what I'm learning more and more is to trust that inner nudge, to trust that soul nudge. As I think about my journey, and I think a lot of us probably can relate to this, is the levels of consciousness. And so the first level of consciousness is victim. The next level is manifesting. The next level is God through us. And the next level is God as us. And you could kind of hear probably my different levels as you were listening to my story. I mean, there was a point in my life that the victim level was a level that I was in for a while. I had gotten a divorce, and I had different alcoholics in my life, and so I left them all and kind of shut them out of my life. And then as I was continuing on my path, I kept meeting that same person in a different body. The same characters kept coming into my life, and I kept trying to save them. And literally, one person I was trying to save, I took her to an Al-Anon meeting so I could save her. And I was wowed by the meeting. And since I didn't have any alcoholics in my life at that time, I didn't think I belonged. The next week, I couldn't get her to come back, but I decided I should go back. And I listened for 2 months. And then I finally heard that I was in the exact right place and that this was for me. And Al-Anon was phenomenal for me to give me tools and resources. It was my entry into spirituality, taking responsibility for my life, moving out of that victimhood, and creating really healthy boundaries, and most importantly, to be a better mom. And that's what kept me going for 7 years. And it's funny how I got there is to save somebody else. I mean, that's very Al-Anon. and creating those same characters. And then you could hear, like, as I moved into the manifesting stage, and I bet you a lot of us can relate to that. And that was wonderful and needed for points in my life. And now I'm really, and it's the stages, because we all go between all of these stages all the time. Like, we're not, whoa, all the time. Like, I mean, maybe there are some, like, of those kind of Buddha, Jesus, Kuan Yin kind of people out in the world, but a lot of us move through those stages. But when you think about it and you hear the stages, the victim, manifesting, God through us, God as us, you think about the energy again. And God through us and God as us, as I let go and let things happen and I let myself shine through my soul, through my connection with spirit, through God, I'm vibrating with that energetic that I want to call into my life. And it's okay sometimes to be a victim, and it's okay to be focused on manifesting. It's hanging out too much in those areas. And one of the things that I was thinking as I was putting this together is the victim and manifesting sometimes staying in those areas too long is me. It's all me. And as you move into God through us and God as us, it's we. And it's more about love and compassion for ourselves and for others. And so those are the areas that I want to hang out a little bit more in. And so a quote that I have for you that I think really describes it, and also the music and Maggie's reading. Love is the highest frequency you can vibrate in and the highest state of consciousness. In the pure frequency of love, there is gratitude, creating happiness and oneness. Love is all is you. And the author of that is unknown at this time. Sorry, but that's the famous anonymous person. And then the other quote, which I absolutely love, love is the bridge between you and everything. And that's Rumi. Another one that I have for you, there's so many good ones, and I just love how weaving from, like, the mystics to our founder, Ernest Holmes, who was a mystic in himself, to quantum physics and Dr. Joe Dispenza. This one is from Emily Martin, and this is more about the energetic. Energy is the currency of the universe. When you pay attention to something, you buy that something, you buy that experience. So when you allow your consciousness to focus on someone or something that annoys you, you feed it your energy, and it reciprocates the experience of being annoyed. Whoa, that one you could feel. It's a little ouchy sometimes. Be selective in your focus, because your attention feeds the energy of it and keeps it alive. Not just within you, but in the collective consciousness. Woo! Again, the energy, be the energy that we want to attract, and those little small things and it seems like if I get a little snarky or annoyed is when I'm off kilter. And when I am not doing my spiritual practice and somebody cuts me off or whatever that is, but the more that I get grounded in myself, the less I move into those spaces. And then here's one from Joel Goldsmith, from The God, the Substance of All Form. you can begin to realize that the secret of having something consists first in obtaining the consciousness of it. Why? Because God is pure consciousness. And the moment you have the consciousness of something, the mind creates it. Same thing, which is so amazing. So I want to talk a little bit about the class that we have going, which just dovetails so perfectly into this day and this talk. We're in the middle of Revealing Wholeness class right now, and I have phenomenal students in that class, and it is talking about the quantum physics and the creative process, science of mind, and also the medical. It brings all of them together, which is incredibly powerful. And really, it's the same thing looking at it from a different facet. So one of the things that I haven't talked a lot about yet was the medical aspect of this. And in this class, the book that we are reading is Mind Over Medicine. So it is medically proven that ongoing and continuous stress harms our bodies. I think everybody knows that. I think everybody could say to me, yes, we know this. So, but what are the effects of that? Like, if you were to tease that out a little bit, like, what are the effects of that in our bodies? What are the effects of that in our life if we live too much in stress mode? And I can say for myself, I've been there, and it's so much more about balance for me right now. And that's what I love so much about this co-ministry too, is I feel like we're going to work really hard, but we will also have balance, and I am incredibly excited about that. So Dr. Lisa Rankin is just phenomenal. This book it's just yummy. I just don't even know how else to say it. If you get it on Audible, she reads it to you on Audible, but she goes through the journey. So she gets quantitative results of talking about our thoughts or energy and how they affect our bodies. Our thoughts are healing also. So where are we hanging out again? Are we hanging out in the healing thoughts, or are we hanging out in the lower thoughts, or the fear thoughts? Fear and faith. And so as she's going through this journey, she's moving from being a doctor in a practice of having 45, 50 people a day, just stress, and having things going on in her body. And as she starts finding out more and more information about quantum physics, about science of mind, about the cause and effect, and being the energy that we wish to attract, she goes on this journey, and she begins to heal herself. And she is very down to earth and describes things in such a way that is easy. It makes it personal, I think, for each of us. One of the quotes that she quoted in the book in one of the chapters is, never affirm or repeat about your health what you do not wish to be true. Never affirm or repeat about your health what you do not wish to be true. That's a good one. I got to keep reading that one, because sometimes it's easy. If I had an eye thing going on, I got something in my eye, I don't really want to tell you how many times I've talked about it, because but I'm better than I used to be, and I did have the belief in the beginning that I could heal it with some prayer power of this wonderful spiritual center. So again, what are the thoughts that we're hanging out in? And one of the things that I wanted to read about this too is what Brene Brown, who is just, again, another facet to bring in the same teaching, because Brene, especially in Atlas of the Heart right now, breaks down feelings. Where are our thoughts, and where are we at, and what are we attracting? But what feelings do we have that drives that? What is our belief system? And so Brene drills into that even more, which is beautiful, because it helps me understand more what's going on with inside me at a deeper level, with more depth and more understanding. And so this is what she says about the Mind Over Medicine book. With humor, warmth, and compelling research, Dr. Lisa Rankin's Mind Over Medicine begins to heal the most crucial fracture of our time, the break between our mind, bodies, and spirit. When it comes to our physical and emotional health, we need to tap into our own wisdom and find our voices. Lisa's passion and experience makes her perfect guide for this journey. I just thought that encapsulated so well what I'm wanting to share with you, So, with all of that, and bringing it all together, what are the practical tools that allows us to be the energy that we wish to attract in our lives? What are those practical tools? And some of it can be simple, and some of it can be a little bit more complicated depending on where we're at for the day. There's a quote from the Dalai Lama: just one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. One small positive thought in the morning. So I think a lot of this comes back to spiritual practices. I say this a lot, but it is the bedrock. It is the foundation of my growth. What it is it's about love, and the love starts within me. The love starts within me, and for me to feel that love, to feel my connection with the whole, to feel my divine self is spiritual practices. And it's mindfulness, it's meditation, it's love, it's acceptance, it's surrender, it's listening to those soul nudges. You know, there's been a time, and I think some of you could relate to this in my life, where I'm getting soul nudges and I'm like, oh, I'm too busy, I can't listen, it's too little, and really those soul nudges are everything. Those little nudges, call my sister, go to the park, and all of a sudden I'm connecting with somebody that really needs to connect with somebody at that moment. Those nudges are they're like the breadcrumbs of our soul's journey. And every time that I follow, I feel more love, I feel more open, I feel more me. And so listening to those gentle whispers, the intuition, our soul, our divine self, and connecting with our heart and compassion. And that is the energy of who we are. Some days for me, it's the meditation in the morning, the silence, and my soul word, and a walk. Other days, it's 4 meditations, 3 walks, a connected conversation, and some journaling. I mean, it varies from day to day on my spiritual practices. Being in classes, being in community, being with divine friends, your soul pods, is incredibly powerful. Right now, what the world is calling for now more than ever is for us to wake up. As we wake up, we raise our vibration. It raises within us, and it raises in the collective. With COVID, division, divide, social injustice, all are a call for greater love. And love is the answer. Love is always, always the answer. That's the highest vibration. Goes back to the reading, the talk. That's a God thing. I mean, God is way beyond what I can create. For us to wake up and live on purpose in our hearts. That is the highest calling for each of us. That is the vibration that changes the world. That is the vibration that lifts us all in love. And for me, and what I'm finding during these times, and I bet for a lot of us and a lot of the conversations where we're at in this world, this has become non-negotiable. It's time. It's time. It's time for us to be in that place of love, to give, to share. And like Rumi says, love is the bridge between you and everything. So with that, I would like to go into prayer. And I have something I would like to read. So everybody would like to take a deep collective breath. And this is advice from a tree. So just breathe in and feel your roots grounded. Feel your hearts lifted, your limbs lifted. And as advice from a tree, stand tall and be proud. Go out on a limb, reach for the sky, adapt to change, branch out, stay grounded. Remember your roots, drink plenty of water. Get rid of dead wood. Be confident, never stop growing, bend before you break. Turn over a new leaf and enjoy the view. And this is from Ayan Shamar. We are trees. Namaste.
Today, all that I bring today, I know that it's enough. Oh, I am born from the strength of love. I am breathing the strength of love. I am breathing the strength of love. Now in this holy air, every thought is a prayer. May we be lifted up. Oh, I am breathing the strength of love. I am blessing the strength of love. I am blessing the strength of love. I bring it forth today, sending it on its way out to the hills above. Oh, I am blessing the strength of love. I am born from. I am breathing, I am breathing, I am breathing. I am blessing, I am blessing the strength, blessing the strength of love.
Thank you so much, Alexa and Lauren, and thank you, Rev Michelle. You can tell this woman is on fire. We are really blessed to have her joining, not just as guest speaker, but as co-spiritual director. So grateful, so grateful. Time in our service now where we ask you to turn your attention to the practice of sacred giving. First of all, a big thank you. We are almost going to come out of this period of not meeting in person, but while we have, we're so grateful for the gifts that have come in. This is the practice, of course, of giving a portion of what the good we receive back to where we are spiritually fed. So our affirmation, as always, is, graciously I give from a place of love, knowing that as I give, so do I richly receive. There are several ways to give. You'll see them on the slide coming up. Of course, you can donate on Facebook, on our website, or mail a check the old-fashioned way. We're also asking right now if you're able to give an extra donation of any amount to help defray our moving expenses. We're moving to Unity at the end of the month, and between the movers and carpet cleaning and so on, it's at least another $1,000. So if you can give a little extra and make a memo in your check or go to the place online on our website where it says moving/setup expenses, that would be so appreciated. Other announcements. Right after service today, we are having our monthly social connection call. That is, the link for that was in this week's newsletter. It was actually the incorrect link in last week's newsletter, so look for that. You can sign up for our newsletter, by the way. You won't get it this week, but you can get it next week on our Facebook page. If you didn't tune in at the beginning, you may have missed the fact that Reverend Michelle Arellano, the board has approved to be our co-spiritual director starting March 1st. So come on the call after service. Let's celebrate her. You can learn a little bit more about her. You can ask us questions about how that co-ministry is going to work, and also about our move to Unity. We will be broadcasting live on March 6th from Unity. We will also be meeting in person. We're asking that people make reservations by emailing our admin, cslroguevalley@gmail.com, your intentions. We're going to limit the attendance that first week to about 50 until we see how things work out with COVID, and asking people to still wear masks. But we're so excited to be meeting in person after all of this time. Let's see, what else? That's pretty much it, I think. Prayer requests, of course, are always welcome. You can click the prayer request button on our website. So let's go back one last time to our musicians, Alexa Ehrlich and Lauren James.
Your very own heart. The feeling you want is more near than you know. It's not to be found in the places you go. It only resides in the depths of your soul, and it starts in your very own heart. What is most real is what you can feel. What makes it start is an opening heart. It starts to move in as you feel your heart beat, and opens a door to a world eyes can't see. It brings you back home where we all long to be, and it starts in your very own heart, in your very own heart, oh, in your heart. Ooh.
So big thanks to our musicians, Alexa and Lauren. Big thanks too to our Sunday crew. They're amazing. Shannon Schnibbe did an awesome job as our director this morning. We have Bill and Connie Miner, Ben Rummel, Jason Rummel, and our sound engineer, Tom Frederick. And of course, our new co-minister, Rev Michelle.
Yay! Well, it's been so much fun doing this with you today. Thank you. I am grateful for each one of you, and I am just sending so much love and knowing that the love is the bridge to everything, from the great Rumi poet. Have a blessed day, and namaste.
And see you on the Zoom call after service right now.